Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. I hope you're well at home and being safe and healthy in these weird COVID times. Anyway, so this webinar, we thought it would be nice for me to explain something about the combination of meridians, Chi, and Yin Yoga. So before I want to go into explaining that, you need to know a little bit more about the physical entrance. So first I will talk a little bit about the physical explanation of what is fascia to be able to understand what the meridians are. And then I will explain what Chi is and how you can recognize Chi and also how you can balance it out with Yin Yoga. And then I give you at the end a little bit of information about the metal energy, which is, in my country anyway, autumn, but maybe not for all of you. So it will, and I will give you 3 poses that will help stimulate the meridians related to this element. So, and then at the end, I will be talking more or less for about half an hour or so. And then at the end, you have time to ask anything so that I can go a little bit deeper, or maybe I've missed out on something or I wasn't clear enough so that you can get your answer on that. So I brought my meridian doll as well. And this is the Chinese doll, so with the meridian lines on top of it. But before we go there, I would like to go and explain a little bit about fascia, because fascia is the tissue that we stimulate the most with Yin Yoga. So the fascia basically is everywhere in your body. It is kind of, well, connective tissue. It was used to, they used to call fascia also connective tissue, or fascia was part of connective tissue. But the word connective tissue actually says it already. Fascia or connective tissue connects everything inside your body. It connects bone to bone. It holds the organs in place. It is surrounding the organs. It's surrounding your nerves. It's surrounding your arteries and veins. It's surrounding your bones. It's surrounding basically everything. Even your brain is surrounded by fascia. And then also the connection with each other. So how does that look like? So if you have fascia, if you think of fascia, it can come in different forms. So you can have kind of like sheets, like holding 2 bones together. For example, in the knee, you have the ligaments holding it together. The ligaments being a type of fascia. But you also have the bone itself, which is surrounded by fascia. The same with your muscles, and it's surrounded by fascia, but also within the muscle, you have several tubes, and each tube is surrounded by fascia. So the fascia goes in all the way, connecting the cells of all that you are, surrounding, kind of holding the cell in its place. So now I have to get a little bit more technical to kind of understand that. So it is the cells that actually make the makeup that is fascia. So the cells, they are producing kind of a liquid. They are producing fibers, and and this liquid is what the cells themselves are floating in. So, and this liquid is the makeup of all the fascia all over, whether it is in the form of a tube, whether it's in the form of a sheet, or whether it's in the form of a sack, or it doesn't matter. Whatever the shape of the fascia is, the basis of the fascia is this, that it mainly consists out of water. So we know that in general, the body consists out of more or less 75%. When, as we age, it gets less. When we are just a fetus, it's 90% more or less. When we are a young child, we're a little bit more. So, but an adult is more or less in between 65 and 75% water. The body itself cannot hold that amount of water in a liquid form. So what the body does is to transform this water into a gel state. And this gel is basically everywhere. And it's sliding, it can transform, it can move toxins through the system. Toxins can move out, nutrients can move in, cells can migrate, can communicate with each other. If you hurt yourself, then the fascia itself is kind of protecting you and then allowing the good things to go there to fix it, to say it in a simple way. So the body, the moment we practice Yin Yoga, what it does is when you put yourself in different poses, you kind of squash this gel-like network, so to say. You squash that network, and in that moment, it transforms in a more liquid form. So in doing so, in that way, nutrients are able to move into that area. Toxins are able to go out of that area. So when you feel stiff or you have tension, there is toxins there that are creating this tension, or the fibers are too too many fibers, or they are positioned in such a way that you feel constricted, literally. So the moment you kind of stretch or you apply pressure on your body, or you twist your body, or you activate the muscle just slightly in Yin Yoga when you want to hold yourself up, for example, but you want to relax the area that you are stimulating, so the muscles. In that way, you kind of transform this gel in a more liquid form. And that is where a reset can take place. So in that moment, the water is flushed out, you could say. So it's flushed out, nutrients can come in. And then when after the pose, you're lying down to feel the effect of the pose, to feel the rebound, what it does after a while, you feel maybe even the flow throughout the whole body. So this is this liquid flow of flushing throughout your system. And then after a while that fades away. So then it turns again into a gel form. But then this gel state is completely reset. It is new. It is replenished, so to say. And this gives you this natural high, but also it's very healthy for you to do, because it's a deep release of the deeper tissues in the body, of taking toxins out and to balance yourself. So it is in this fascia where the meridian system is. So all the meridians here depicted on the doll, there are just 12 main meridians that they mainly use and that have acupuncture points, so that they use in acupuncture to stimulate the chi flow, which is flowing through the meridians. And I will explain in a moment what chi is. But to stimulate the chi flow, or to enhance a certain chi flow. But also, so if you go back and think about the fascia in that way, stimulation on these meridians, that enhances movement, gets rid of stagnation, gets rid of toxins. So we have more than just these meridians. They're uncountable meridians, or nadis, as they're also called in India, in the yoga philosophy. So, and prana being similar to chi. So we have a lot, countless, and you can imagine that if you think about fascia being everywhere, all over the body, connecting everything, everything is connected with everything. And so the moment you stimulate the body, that what you do to one part of the body has therefore an effect on the rest of the body. So there are countless meridians, but the Chinese made a kind of a meridian map, where they find out in specific times also that certain ailments could come up. So they realized, just by observing nature, by observing the body, they realized that there is some similarities that they could think of that keeps on coming back, like symptoms or ailments on specific areas on the meridians. So they made this map of meridians that you can stimulate to keep yourself healthy and balanced. And not only on a physical level, the Chinese, they also looked at energy broader. So on your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state, and the energetic state all that package, that is what, in their view, is um, having the balance. So you probably all know the yin and yang sign of the this black part with a white dot in it and the white part with a black dot in it. And this is what they saw in general. Observing nature, they saw a yang energy, so that would be the white part, and a yin energy, that is the black part. So there is always this ever constant movement of energy, of having a lot of energy, and then there is a passive energy. So you can, for example, recognize that in nature with the seasons. In winter time, where we're going towards right now, at least in my country, that is where everything, and also including nature, turns in. You as a human being also feels that. You feel that your energy goes in more, you need to rest more. Whether or not you do that, that's a different story. But you feel more tired, and there's less light even in nature. But in summertime, that's the opposite. That's where everybody wants to go out. You want to do stuff. You want to be with people. You want to be active. And in summertime, everything is at its peak of bloom. So it's a very active, dynamic energy. So these two energies, you have that in nature, but also during the day. When you have rested enough, that is the yin part of the day, you have enough energy when you wake up to start to do what you need to do in that day. So then around noon or something, that's the peak of your energy. And then after that, it goes downhill. So more or less the 4 o'clock dip, you would say, like you would need an extra boost. Well, actually, naturally, if you look at nature, that is the moment where the energy goes down. So, and it should be like that. But we are living in a society where we always want more, go, 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 and continue with this peak. But science, like how nature or energy or life itself wants to balance that out, is, for example, there are a lot of people right now having burnouts or being so stressed because the balance is gone. If you would look at the balance, and for everyone that balance is different. Let's say this is my balance and I have my energy peak and then it goes down. If I would follow that line and I would really listen to that, so really stay connected and feel inside what it is that you need and when you need it. If you listen to that, and that is the hardest thing, to listen and then also to act on it, then you stay healthy. That is what the Taoist view or the Taoist view is. To stay on the Tao, to stay in your center, to stay in the balance, to stay on your path. There are different translations for that word. So, but if you go beyond your boundaries, then, and you would use your yang, 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 and then at some point, your body will give you signs along the way, like, oh, I'm tired. No, are your lower back problems or headaches or whatever? No, you just continue. And then at some point, your body says, stop. I cannot do that anymore. So then you go the opposite direction. So you go from the maximum yang to the maximum yin. But it's not that black and white. So in China, when the Chinese observed nature, they also saw like, okay, there's this passive and active energy, but in the way going towards the active energy and then again back to the passive energy, they're kind of phases, energetic phases, which are palpable. So from yin, you feel a little bit yang happening already. So you would say from winter time, when spring comes, there is a different energetic feeling palpable inside of you also, if you have rested enough, that there is a shift in your energy, that you feel the urge to do things again. If you look at nature, all of a sudden there is nothing, and all of a sudden poof, nature explodes. So, and then you go towards summer, which is the more dynamic energy. And then after that, you have like this harvesting time, which is called the earth element, the earth quality. And then you go to the metal energy, which is the fall energy. So this is after summer. the summer is gone, and the emotion that they relate also to it is kind of melancholy. You see it also in the trees. They start to let go of their leaves. They let go of what they do not need anymore. They turn literally their saps into the trunk to be able to survive wintertime. For us humans, that's on a micro level. The nature and the cosmos you could see is on a macro level. Also, these energies are there, and we have all five of them. But depending on your character, sometimes you have more of a specific energetic quality inside of you, one of the five, and or two maybe, and others are a little bit dormant or less visible or noticeable. So that could be for you something to recognize once you understand a little bit the energetic quality of each element, to work on. For example, with your Yin Yoga practice. So now in the metal energy, this is a time of letting go, of discerning what it is that you need and what you do not need. The organs related to this energetic quality, the metal, is the lungs and the large intestine. So the lungs also decide what they take in, which is oxygen, and what they need to let go of, which is the waste product that we do not need. The large intestine does the same. It has the same function. It takes in the last water and the last nutrients of what is being digested in the small intestine, and then it lets go. If there is an imbalance, examples of imbalance in your metal energy inside of you can be, for example, constipation on a physical level, that you hold on to things and you're not able to let go. On an emotional level, the same. You just cannot let go of certain grief or a certain person or a certain situation, even though you feel inside that this job or this relationship or whatever is the case is not good for you. So it takes a lot of courage to be able to let go of things. So that is a positive emotion connected to this elemental energy. But if you cannot let go, then grief is the thing that sticks to you the most. So, and there's a lot more to say about this. Also, for example, the lungs are very much connected to a strong immune system, protecting you from any external factors that might attack your body. The skin is also connected to this element. So when the skin, that is literally the protection of the outside to the inside. And then I wanted to say, oh yes, about the respiratory system. So that is also very much connected to this element. And in this season, when autumn comes, colds, flus, all these things are very normal, so to say. So there is easily an imbalance in this time of year for those external factors to attack you. So it is very important to take care of your immune system, your respiratory system, to be able emotionally to really, turn in, take your time to observe what it is that you need and do not need anymore, and then make it a ritual or whatever to let go. And then the yin practice can also help you to stimulate or to balance out the energies of this element. As the meridians are connected to the organ, and I said quickly before, like chi flows through the meridians. So if you want to stimulate this energy flow, because that is what chi is, this is a life force. Not only that, it's actually everything. Chi is behind everything. Chi is matter on the verge of becoming, for example, or matter on the verge of becoming energy. So energy is something that you cannot see, but it is there. It's palpable. If you talk to someone, even now when I'm talking to you guys at home, there is an interaction of energy happening. So energy is everywhere, and that is also within the body. So the moment that you have more or less the symptoms of an imbalanced metal energy, for example. So you have a cough, or you feel sad all the time, or you have constipation. And these are examples of what can be symptoms of a metal energy out of balance. Or you have flu all the time, or your immune system is not great. To boost this energy, you can stimulate the meridians that are connected to the organs. So the lung meridian, the lungs are here physically, of course, but the lung meridian is in the inside of the arm and connected very much to the thumb. I can show you the perfect pathway of the meridian on the doll, but in Yin Yoga, it is more about the area that we want to stimulate. So when you do poses that open up the chest area, that you feel it on the front of the shoulder and stretching or stimulating into the inside of your arm all the way to the thumb, that is when you're stimulating your lung meridian energy. The large intestine starts in the index finger, but again, we are interested in the area. So that is on the outside of the arm, and then it goes in the area here of the shoulder blade, and especially here, the upper trap, this area where we have a lot of tension due to a lot of responsibilities that we cannot let go of easily because we think we need to take care of it. So tension there, holding a lot of tension there, and in the neck and connected to the face and going into the opposite nose. So these areas are areas that you want to feel when you do a Yin Yoga pose, and that will help you to stimulate your lung and large intestine energy, which is your metal energy, connected to this season of the fall. So some of the I wanted to give you some poses to stimulate those. So like I just mentioned, the large intestine is on this area, and especially here, and also going up into the side of the neck, or sorry, the front of the neck, and then going up in towards the opposite nose. So these are the areas. So for example, caterpillar, you can do caterpillar, and then with eagle arms, so you can cross your left arm over the right. And to enhance the stimulation in the lung meridian, I like to grab my thumb so that it stretches here the base of my thumb, and then folding forward. So the idea here is that you feel the shoulder area, you feel the neck area, in this area also. The front of the throat, you are not feeling so much because you're compressing it, but also compression stimulates your meridian system, your fascia. So either way, whether it's stretch or due to compression, you are stimulating now your large intestine meridian and the chi flowing through it. And then again, the key is like with Yin Yoga to hold it for a time, for about 5 minutes or even more, until you feel this release of softening, letting go into this area. You can play with the arm position in order for you to find it. You can even use props to support your arms on top of it to keep it into a certain position where you feel the shoulder area. You can also move the hands from one side or to the other side. You can also turn the head a bit. There's no one way. You can also let the torso move a little bit to the side. Whatever it is that you need to do with your body in this pose to find the area where you feel you need an opening, you need a release. So that is one pose, and what you could do afterwards is either sitting caterpillar, so walking your hands back and then pressing your shoulder blades towards each other just slightly so that you have an opening in the front, in the chest area. And that can also go into the inside of the arm all the way down. But this pose is not for everyone. Some people have no opening here due to the position of the arms going backwards in the chest. So, or some feel their elbows. You can here allow your head to go back so that you also feel the throat area. And you can even add to that the lower lip over the upper lip. But if this doesn't do it for you, then you can also use reclined butterfly, for example, whether the bolster is horizontal or vertical. Again, you would have to try out and see what works for you the best to open up the chest. So place it underneath the rib cage and then you allow yourself to fall over it. If there's too much compression in the back of the neck, of the bones coming together, you can place your head on top of a pillow and you can play with the arm position in order for you to feel the most opening in the chest and lung area. And a great breathing or pranayama you could do is breathing in for 4 seconds, then hold the breath for about 2, then breathe in a bit more for 2 seconds more, and then hold for 2 again, and then you exhale long through the mouth 8 seconds. So you breathe in 4, hold, breathe in more, hold, exhale out. And this is just a suggested amount. If you can inhale more than 4, then you do 5, for example, and then hold for 3, inhale through 3, hold for 3, exhale. Well, you don't need to count, but you can just go with however long it takes you to exhale. And then another thing to really work on this area also is the finger stretch or the wrist stretch, actually. So you place your fingers towards your body, and I'm sitting now like this, so this might already be enough weight. So the idea is that you feel a stretch on the inner part of your lower arm. Yeah. You can also let the palm come up. Maybe then the stretch goes also into the palm. If that is not working, you can also hold the hand like this. And if you need a little bit more stimulation, you can add a little bit more weight to it. So you can come onto hands and knees and then place the hands again with the fingers pointing towards you and then falling backwards. You can add a toe squat also. And then you can relax your head. And if one side is more intense than the other, that's okay. Just kind of go with what it is that you feel. You don't want to feel compression that is painful on this side. So you want to play a little bit with the hand position, or sometimes just holding the hand can fix that. Yeah. So those were the 3 poses that I wanted to share with you to stimulate this autumn energy, this metal energy. And actually the metal, that is the symbol for this energy, is kind of like cutting away what is good, what is not good for me. So really deciding, yes, this, no, that. So that is kind of the symbol that was thought by the Chinese to go with this energetic quality. So that was a lot of information about fascia, about the meridian system that is within the fascia, about the chi, and also that flows within our bodies but is everywhere. It is within everything, making up actually everything in the universe. So that, having said, means that once you do one thing or you say something bad to somebody, you also hurt yourself in that way. That is also chi. That is also energy. So in this way, the elemental theory or the yin and yang theory combined with yin yoga is a great tool to help yourself and balance yourself out, and to also realize that we are all connected. So makes you think twice maybe before you do anything that might be harmful either to yourself or to others. And then I gave you some poses that stimulate this meridian. So if you have any questions, I'm looking at this And I know that there's a 20-second delay. Well, there were some technical issues, I see. Um, I see a lot of familiar faces also there on the chat. Okay. Well, I don't see any questions at the moment, but if you like this and were interested in this, there's also a link below the video to the online training that I offer, which is connected to Yin Yoga and Meridians. It's a 30-hour online training, and you have a 24-hour 20% off discount when you signed up for this webinar. So I tell there a lot of stuff about and go into more depth about the body, the fascia, the meridians, the chi, and how you can use yin yoga to help yourself and balance yourself out, to empower you, to calm yourself down, or to uplift you. Let's see. Oh, Sarah Nicole asked if I will be doing a class. No, actually, that was not the plan. I was just going to give some information about what each and every part is. And I wanted to give you 3 poses that you could do for stimulating the lung and large intestine. But a whole class, that was not the idea. There are a lot of classes on EkhartYoga also about this. So, yeah. Hi, Barbara. Okay. I think it was all clear then about the chi and the meridians. You're welcome, Sarah. No questions about how that works with the within the body? Great, Tamara. See you in January. Yes, I talk a lot more in detail about the meridians in the training. So are you referring to how to stimulate them, or how does it work, or what? Can you specify a little bit your question, Veronica? Mary Tracy, yeah, Yin Yoga can certainly help giving you more energy, but I would also want to add to that that you also need a Yang form of yoga. As in the symbol Yin and Yang, they're complementary. So you have to go inside and see for yourself, okay, what it is that you need in this moment. And then it can be a combination of yin and yang. Maybe you say, okay, I do 2 days a week yin and 3 days a week yang, but I do not know about your situation. So I cannot say anything about that. There are no set rules for that. So yin and yang are both equally necessary. Yin yoga opens up the tubes, so to say, so opens up the fascia system, the meridian system. And then yang yoga allows to move the fluids, flushes it through, so to say. So you need both, even though and when you do a yin pose and you release a compressed area and you release yourself after that, or you stretch a certain area and you do the rebound after, then also there is a flushing happening. But it's not so vigorous as would be with a yang yoga practice. So yes, it would totally help you gain more energy. But I also know from students that if too much yin, that actually brings the energy level too low. So then more yang is needed. I hope that helps your question. Yeah, Gert. Yeah, that energy, everything is hard to grasp. I totally agree. Um, it, I'm thinking of a good example to kind of relate to that more. Um, for example, you come into a room and there's this feeling that you think, something awkward has happened or this doesn't feel good. But there's nothing in the room or no one in the room there, or maybe a person, but they're quiet. But you instantly can gather that. So in that sense, you can imagine that energy is all over the place. Um, and you can feel it. So energy is everywhere. Even now with Zoom classes, there is still a connection there if you put your attention to it, to notice it. So kind of play with that thought like, okay, what I do, what kind of effect does it have on somebody else or on me even? Um, Yeah. The Laura Mendel, she asks if the 38-hour training includes practice. Yes, a lot. Um, I go through, and it is in a very practical and fun way that you learn about the meridian. So it's very playful. We do dances, songs, so that it sticks in your mind. And also, you get a deeper understanding of what is fascia exactly. So I explain that using videos or images. Um, and also, we finish every day with a practice that is related to one element, and also added to that pranayama. And we will use the sutras actually to gain insight into how chi is manifested and how chi can be influenced by the 8 limbs, using the 8 limbs of yoga also. So yeah, a lot of practice, meditation practice, pranayama practice, yin yoga practice, and also how to adjust the upper body poses, because in this training, we focus more on the upper body yin poses. And the other training that I have, the 50-hour one, which is yin and anatomy, focuses more on the lower body poses. So we do practices for that. Any idea why it is metal that is associated with these meridians and lungs? Well, on a Kishan, yes. At the moment, there is an imbalance with this elemental quality inside. If there's something with your lungs, you also have kind of a metallic taste on your tongue. Also, when you look at the sky, it's, for example, it's white, or this freshness, it kind of cuts through everything. So, and metal literally cuts through things. You can use metal to cut through things. So metal was kind of chosen as the element, or the element to relate the most to the inhalation, which is inhale, cut, exhale, cut, let go. And the large intestine, also the function is to take in the last bits and then to let go of the things you do not need. So in that sense, but mainly the one where you have something happening with your lungs, there's this metallic taste in your on your tongue that maybe resonates the most with you. Okay, what age is good to start with practicing yin yoga? Any age. Young kids, most of the time, they have so much young energy inside that they are really on the go all the time. It's also that phase of our lives where the yang energy is most present. As we age, there is more yin energy present, wisdom supposed to be more present also. Taking it slower, and physically we dry up more. The fascia gets dried up, there's less cells in the body, and less fibers, it's less strong. So yeah, yin yoga specifically for the later part in life is good, but it is good throughout your whole life. But you have to be able to sit still, and young kids most of the time are not able to do that. So just maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. My daughter, she's 7, and she needs to giggle always when she falls forward and feels a stretch in her hamstrings, and she's like, ooh. So it's like 1 minute and then it's done. So it's also accepting that. But yin is good anyway to kind of turn in and to connect apart from the physical effect that yin has. The link for the class? No, the link to the teacher training, the online training, Vicky Downs, that is below in the box, below the box. Yeah, so if you scroll down below the thumbs up or thumbs down, you can see it there. Yeah, Linda Allen, I will cover all the meridians of the 5 elements. Yes. So all the 12 meridians will be covered, the principal meridians that are used in the Chinese medicine. Yeah. Okay, Rachel says some of our daily postures, slumping at desks, puts us in a position that tighten those areas. Yeah, I'm thinking you mean the metal areas, so to say. Is the thinking that that would impact us in the same way if the stimulus isn't internal? I'm not sure if I understand the question. Well, hunching over like this closes up the lung, so it closes up your lung energy. If the stimulus isn't internal, could you specify a bit more what you're asking, Rachel? Because I do not completely understand. Yeah, so Veronica, yeah, exactly. The training goes into more depth about understanding the meridians and how to stimulate them with the yin poses. So we cover first the meridians and what that element is all about, and then we do a practice to stimulate those meridians of that element. So you also learn, we go over 15 upper body poses. You learn which poses you can use for which element. Yeah, targeting and opening up the areas. In this case, the metal energy, but we do that for all the elements. Yeah, okay, Laya, with kids, well, be playful about it. Don't expect yin yoga to be a very quiet class when you do this with kids. But it is something short and sweet. They can fall forward, and if you teach them, okay, just breathe and stay still, maybe don't go too deep, and then kind of give them the experience of connecting with themselves and with their bodies in a quiet way. But it is challenging, so don't have too high expectations. Keep it short and sweet. Okay, Penny says the cold is not good for the chi. Is that true? No, it's not true. Because the cold enhances also the chi flow because your body starts to react. So, no. Okay, yin can get your energy low. Doing yin yoga, you are giving in or losing energy. No. Raisa, um, any kind of yoga, but especially yin yoga, is always trying. So if your energy is low, and the body always wants to find a new balance. So the moment you apply stimulation to it, if it's low, then it will help to build it up. If it's in excess, the energy is in excess, then the energy will be going or helped down. If it's in balance, then nothing will happen. It will just stay in balance. It will just be a nice stimuli. So don't worry about that yin yoga is losing, giving or losing energy. I did not mean it in that way. I meant it like if you do too much yin yoga and no yang yoga, then the energy can get too low. You need yang, you need movement in your life as well as turning in an observation. So it is like the yin yang symbol. Yin and yang have to be in balance, but it depends per person what that balance is. And that is your own path to discover how much yin shall I do, what feels good for me in this moment, because that can also change with time, as everything always changes, and how much yang do I need to do at the moment. Yeah? I hope this answers your question, Raisa. Mm. Okay, lie. 0 to 3 years old. Well, it is playful. Doing yoga with kids from 0 to 3 years old, it's just playful. And also, moms can do it if you just have a group of kids. And I don't know how you would guide kids of 0 years old. Probably the parents would be there, but try some poses, but don't do like very deep long held poses. Just kind of guide them through the process of, okay, you're turning in, and get to know yourself a little bit and get to know what you're feeling inside. It's more about that than having the goal of a certain function of the pose. No, you do not have to attend at a certain time live the course. You can start whenever you want and finish whenever you want. It is your own time and your own course, so you can take as long as you like. The course is not live, it is recorded. I have 4 students present, so you can also see different bodies, for example, and how each and every one reacts differently to it. You can access it at any time. Once you've purchased it, you can start, and when you do not have time, you just don't continue, and you continue when you can again. You don't need an EkhartYoga subscription. It is on Ekhart Academy though, so anybody can buy the training. You also have the ability to leave comments like this, and I will reply if you have difficulties or questions. And there is even a one-to-one session possibility in the training. So if throughout the course at some point you're like, okay, now I'm ready to do a live session with José for like half an hour, then that is also part of the possibility. So it's very interactive, the course. This video, yeah, you can, it will be recorded, so you can see it anytime you, or re-see it anytime you would like. Okay, so Rachel asks, the examples of imbalance you were giving were internal, not letting go of emotions, for example, but I wonder if the effects on our fascia and on our body's ability to move energy is the same. No, if it's just because we were hunching over computer or the phone, no. Because if, I understand what you mean now. So when you are stimulating your body with doing yin yoga, because that is the way in, doing yin yoga stimulates your fascia system, stimulates your meridian system. Therefore, it stimulates your chi flow. That is the whole thing. So when you are doing these poses, or you don't need to do a whole class, but for example, you've been sitting hunchback in front of the computer the whole day, the best thing that you can do is do the opposite movement, so a chest opener for a long time, to give yourself literally energy again and to allow the energy to flow into those places. So even though you're in front of the desk, the energy is also moving, but you feel that literally also, I think, when you're sitting in front of the computer. In my case, for example, my temperature drops, I get colder, get stiffer because you're sitting still and you're just moving the fingers and your head once in a while, but it's all in the same direction. So the chi flow in that sense kind of stagnates or slows down, and you can feel that watching this different symptoms you might have when you're sitting in front of the computer. So a natural urge that we have is already moving when we're sitting in front of the computer or taking a deep breath. This is a natural thing that the body wants to do to kind of rebalance, to allow the chi to flow again into these areas where they're kind of flowing slower or are stagnated at some point if you do it for a very long time. I hope this helps. Oh, Laya, no, don't worry about the kids. It is okay to do yin yoga with them. Yeah, exactly. So Miss Yoga Mel Yoga, Yin Yoga balance out the energy, yeah, but also Yang also, and yeah, some people need Yin, for example, or meditation to calm down if they had a very busy day. But if you had a very busy day with a lot of mental work, so to say, and not so much your body, then other people, and we're all different and unique, other people might benefit from a more physical yoga, meaning yang yoga, vinyasa, or whatever, that kind of allows the body to move again, to get the energy literally out of the head more into the body. So also there is no set rules for that. You just have to look at yourself individually, look inside and feel, okay, and try out, experiment also. Like today I'm tired and I feel worn out because I've been working a lot. Okay, let's do some yin. Let's see the effect. And then another day, and you can do that for a week or so to kind of see the effect. And then the other week, you do the opposite. You do yang yoga when you feel like that. And then you can kind of find out for yourself what it is that you need when you feel like that. And again, that can also change. Everything changes all the time. So to kind of cut yourself loose from, okay, it needs to be set in stone, that's not the case. It is flowing. Energy is flowing. Life is flowing. Everything is flowing all the time. So you also need to flow with, okay, see what I can do. And that is also what we discuss a lot in the training, to really connect with feeling what it is that you need so that you can decide to make a beneficial and therapeutic practice even for yourself that helps you to balance out your body, your mind, your emotional state, your energy level. Yeah, yang can perfectly be something else than yoga, for sure. Running, walking, biking, playing tennis, whatever. Yeah. Lungs and immune system. Yeah. Okay, so the immune system is very much related to the lung energy and also the metal energy, as it is connected with the taking care of the kind of like a barrier, so to say. So your lungs and also your skin, they are protecting you from external factors that are out there, like the virus, the COVID virus, also the the cold, the well, any sickness. They attack us all the time. If your immune system, your barrier, so the skin, so to say, is strong, then there is no possibility that those things will affect you. If there is a crack there and your immune system is low, and then the lungs, they take care also of, okay, taking oxygen in, expelling what is not needed. If you do not do that, expelling what is not needed well, then the toxins stay inside. So that also affects your immune system. So it's very much related to having a strong immune system for any external factors that might affect you. Okay, Anya says, really interested in knowing what happens in the brain awareness during yin releases. Well, like I said, the brain is also covered by fascia. It is floating in cerebral fluid, which is kind of like synovial fluid, which is also a type of fascia. So again, your whole brain is connected. So once you do a caterpillar pose, you stimulate the fascia of your hamstrings, your calf muscles, then going into the back, your back muscles, the fascia all there, the fascia surrounding your nerves, surrounding your veins, surrounding your skeleton. And that is also connected to the spinal cord itself also being wrapped around fascia. So it is amazingly connected with everything. So when you do a forward fold, just do not only think about your hamstrings, but it is affecting the brain. It is actually calming you down, literally folding forward. It is just has this releasing effect of chi in the whole fascia, whole meridian system that is connecting everything with everything. So yeah, it has a very calming effect. It turns on your parasympathetic nervous system. So yeah, your rest and digest response is turned on with Yin Yoga. Mm. Would the moon have phases of the moon have a strong effect on the meridians and chi? Wow. Yeah, I think everything has an effect on everything. So yeah, we when it's full moon, a lot of people are sensitive to that. Um, if it actually has an effect on the chi flow within your body, I cannot know for sure. But the moment you feel more excited and you cannot sleep, that means that it has an effect on your chi flow inside. So yeah, all the planets have an effect on everything. Universe itself is an ongoing movement that we are affected by. And whether it's a choice you make that has an effect on the energy flow or it's something that happens to you, it is all connected. So yeah, I guess so. Uh, you're welcome, Desiree. Okay. I think I answered all of the questions. So some of you already have gone. I hope you have enjoyed this webinar and that it is useful for you. And yeah, I would just like to say go with your own experience when you practice your yoga or go about in your daily life to see that it's there, that the energy is there, that what you display comes back and vice versa. So we are all connected and it's all influencing each other. So take care and hope to see you sometime, somewhere.